Hello guys and welcome back to another video on 100 days of code. Welcome to day 11. We have surpassed 10 now, and I do have to apologise because this video is a whole day late and I should have got it out yesterday, but I was doing other things and I was slightly busy and I got really tired and needed to nap, so in the end I didn't end up doing a video. So we're doing it now, and again I do apologise for it being late. Next up, so in today's video, actually you can't already tell, we're going to be doing VueJS. It's a JavaScript framework, as it says here, the progressive JavaScript framework. Again, here's some notes on it if you want to know about it. If you want to know more about it, then come to this page, VueJS.org, and you can go to the Learn, Guide, everything like that. You can look how to install it, how to use the introduction and stuff. So this just shows you different ways of doing it. So actually, for a little, so Vue is how to put this? It's very reactive. So when you use Vue, if you update Vue is built off components and stuff like that. So you create components in your page. So let's say you had a weather app, you would have a header component, let's say weather component or current weather component, something like that, and you would use that to so you'd use the components to put together one big app, and basically these are reactive components. So when you update stuff in the JavaScript or the Vue scripts, I don't know, JavaScript is JavaScript, it would be reactive and it will change the DOM based on that. So it changes only the components which need changing, and it is awesome. I've only been using this for a few days and I already love it a lot. I've built quite a few mini apps with it just to test it out. So yeah, so now how do we install this? So basically we're going to be using the Vue CLI, and we're going to be using the Vue CLI, but we're going to be using the UI, what comes with that. You'll understand once we install it. But to do that, we need NodeJS. If you haven't already downloaded NodeJS, all you do is hit this download button here, or latest. It's up to you. I'd recommend going for the recommended. Use this, and you would put it all together and create a how'd you pull it? So it's got a installer. You click install, and you install it where you want, and basically that's it. Node is installed. Then you can use Node in the terminal, and then once you've done that, you can come over to cli.vuejs.org, and we can click get started. Brings you over here, and to install. Where are we? Installation. There we go. And then here you go. So use this command right here, or if you want to use Yarn, you can use Yarn. I'm going to be using Node. Again, if you use Yarn, you're going to have to install Yarn. And again, this installation page tells you how to do it all. So if you want to come here and do it from here, this will tell you how to install it. So as you can see here, I don't have it installed. I was actually using the wrong commands. So we're going to do npm install globally. So the -G stands for global, and then the Vue CLI. And we have an error due to permissions. Just so we're going to do sudo, and we're going to do that. So next up, you have to put your password in, and that will skip that. Try it without the sudo in, because sudo's never good. It makes your computer more vulnerable. Okay, we're back. It seems like we've got a weird error here, but what was this? Error permission denied. Okay, let's just see if this works. So if we go Vue, and then we go -- version. Hey, so it's installed. There we go. So it's installed. It's version 3, 3.4 to be exact. And basically, there's a few things you could do in here. We're going to be using the Vue UI, and to do this, you type in Vue UI. Oh, sorry, Vue UI, and this will start the GUI, as it stands for, the graphical user interface, on a port. And as you see it open here, we're going to close these tabs down, and this is what it brings up. We're going to turn it into dark mode, because look at this. So this is awesome. I didn't even know this existed until recently. And basically what you do here is you create your projects, you create as many projects as you want now sitting here, and then you can manage all your projects from in here. You can run servers from in here and everything. It handles pretty much anything. So we're going to create. We're going to find, we are on that's day 10. I didn't mean to go in there. So we're going to create a new project here, and we're going to call it day invalid folder name. Oh, you're not going to let me, are you? Okay, guys, we're going to have to call it an app, and then I'll rename it later. But we're going to call this the day 11 because that's what it is, day 11. And this is learning a new thing. And if it exists, recreate. 'Cause I don't remember if I recreated this or not. We're going to be using Git, but it's just so I can pull it up there later. We're going to be using default Babel ESLint. Manual means you select your own features, and this one is if you have Circ set up, you could use that in GitHub or Circ. You can fetch the preset from there. Okay, guys. So once it's done, you'll be brought to this page. You can read this if you want to. I'm gonna close this down, and then this kill. We can hit customize, and we can remove that. I actually want to put run task. Oh, hello. I want to click run task, hit done, set that up so it can do surf. And save. You don't need to do anything with that, just ignore that for now, you'll understand more later. So in Vue, so now we've got this is your dashboard for it. You've got plugins here, your project plugins once it loads. So these are the ones which are installed at the minute, Babel, ESLint, and the CLI surface. We've got our dependencies, so the Vue dependencies, again, these are all the dependencies, the development and the main. And then you've got your config here, so you can set up config and basically choose where your output is and public path, etc. And then this is where the magic happens in tasks. I apologize, I feel like I'm coming down with a cold or something, and it's affecting my ability to talk, which is great. So in here, Surf, basically what Surf does is runs a development, so it says it compiles and hot reloads for development. So it creates a hot reloading surfer basically. So every time you make a change, it'll automatically update and you don't have to do anything, which is awesome. This is going to be great for us. We've got the build, which basically builds it so it's ready for production. You could then drop this straight into production. And then you've got your other things here. I haven't actually looked into these. Lint is basically so you can check if there's any bug fix, any fixes or something what needs fixing. And then the inspect the resolve webpack config. So that's what that does. For now, we're just going to focus on Surf. And we're going to come into here. We're going to press T to open up a new tab. We're going to list our tabs. So we're going to cd into the folder we created. And I am going to do code dot, and this is going to open up. Always opens up on the wrong page, but this is going to open up my text editor. And here we are. So this thing, we're going to hit run to Surf, and we're going to have a look. Okay, once this is done, normally you get loads of stats here, but for some reason mine is not working. Maybe I've done a dodgy install. Yours should show some stats here and just like speed stats. If you go to output here, if it does do what yours did tomorrow, we can now actually open up our app straight from localhost 8080. So it gives you where you need to locate. And if you want to access it on your phone or device, you could put in this as long as it's connected to the same Wi-Fi or the same network as your computer. And now let's turn this into responsive mode. Let's hit that because we're going to be ideally doing it for the X here, so just so we can have a look here. Just it could be anything. We could even go for my phone. Well, the old model of my phone, the Pixel 2. I have the Pixel 3, and we could do it for that. But I want to do it for the X. So yeah, now we've got that. So this is what it starts with. You got your welcome to your VueJS app. And now let's have a look in here. So we've got a few folders. Node modules is just your packages, as you know, it's the same in Node.js. It's just your dependencies and everything you need, what helps run your files. So I need to have some water. You got your package.json file, which you can have a look at. It shows you your dependencies, your Vue, and the rest from here. If we go to source, this has all the files you'll be working on, and then in public, this is the file it compiles to when you run your surfer, essentially. So in here, as you can see, we have this which says no script, which means there's no JavaScript, and then we've got the app. And if you go into source and you go app.vue, as you can see it, so here's another thing. So if you load your Vue up here, and it shows pure white text or something like that, you need to install like a Vue extension or plugin. I don't know what text editor you use, just so you can get some highlighting. So if I click here, install, this is going to install Future for me, which is an awesome tool. It has all the tools we need to develop in Vue. As you can see here, these are the features. It has emit, snippet, syntax highlighting, linting, error checking, formatting, auto completion, and debugging. So once this is done, this should be ready to go. I think VSCode had an update, so you don't have to reload anymore once it's installed. So once this is installed, hopefully we can just crack straight on. So let's wait for this to install and we'll be back. Okay guys, it's installed, and actually it didn't ask me to reload, and actually look, it works here. I'm just going to change some few things. I'm going to convert my indentations to tabs. Oh no, sorry, that's the wrong thing. I'm going to convert my spaces into tabs, and my tab size is going to be 4. That just makes it more clean for me and easier for me to read. Sorry, I didn't mean to add that in. So anyway, back where we were. So this is our app. We've got a diff file. So this is a template. So it's the HTML template. It has a diff component here. So the diff, the ID, app, the image, an image, just a standard image. And then it has this one, which you've probably never seen before, a hello world. And this basically means this is actually a component. So we're importing a component here called hello world. And in here you've got your components from components hello world.vue, and we'll pass in this message attribute. So if we come over here and we go into components and hello world view, as you can see, here is the template. So this is this one, what we're seeing on screen. See this H1, it shows message, and that is actually what is getting passed through from the hello world message. So this message here, and as you can see, this is actually this text here. So now if we change this to, let's say, hello YouTube, and we come here, as you see, I didn't have to hit refresh, it did that automatically for me, but it updated right there. So this is how that's passing through. These are called props, and we get the props on this side. And as you see, it says props, and we've got message, and that is equal to a string that we've put in there. I'm going to convert this again, so we're going to convert using tabs and then size 2. Just makes it cleaner and easier for me to read. So as you see, that is that, but we'll actually go delete this part of it. We're going to keep the H1 message here. And now if we go back, as you see, it's just gone back to the default. We're going to go to app.vue, and in the logo, so in the assets, we're going to change this logo out. So that's cool and all, but we have some of our own components. Actually, it's on my other screen. I'm just going to... Okay guys, my image has gone missing, which is weird. So we were going to use my own logo, but we're going to stick to this logo. It doesn't matter what logo we use, it's a logo in the end of the day. And let's basically clear this. We don't want this, so we're going to remove this out of the main. We're going to delete that. We're going to delete Vue World, the component, because again, we don't want that. And also, I'm going to zoom in a little here so you guys can read this a bit better. Maybe that's a bit too much, that's good. And we don't need to import this no more because we don't actually have that no more. I'm going to bring this up. I'm very picky when it comes to my, how I think looks. As you can see, template, this diff started one tab out, but this started against the wall, as we'll call it. And I don't like it when it's against the wall. It looks kind of funky. So as you see, hello world is not defined. Yes, we know that. Let's refresh because that would have broke the... Hello world is not defined. Where you get? Oh, in component. Sorry, so in here you want to clear that too if you've removed that component. And now that will be back. And as you can see, it's nothing. So we can put H1 in here and say hello world. And if we do that and we refresh, hello world appears. Just to let you know, every component needs a outer diff. So let's say if this was your template file or an outer diff, you need a container for your whatever goes inside. I could not then put a H1 here and go hello world. Actually, it's giving me some syntax highlighting here. The template root requires exactly one element, so you can only put one element in the root, which would be this diff here. Just so you know, just for future reference. So next up, let's create a component, our own component. So let's go components, new file, and we're going to say header.vue. And then here we're going to create template with HTML. I see this is the syntax type. We could do it with Pug like we did in Node, but we're going to go with HTML. We're going to create a header component. And then in here we're going to set 3 objects. We're going to do one of the logo. And in here we're going to have an image with the source of /asset/logo.png. and we're going to say VueJS logo. Oh, hello, logo. And then we're going to have, after that, we're going to have the title, and this is going to have a H1 in it, and it's going to say VueJS. We're going to just put VueJS, and then we're going to have a icon. I don't know, what could I put in here? Filler. Filler. We're going to have filler over here, because it's going to fill our right side. So that is part of our code. Next, we're going to do a script with JavaScript, and we're going to tab this out because it's annoying. We're going to give this a name, and we're going to set it to header. And then we're also going to give it props, and this is going to be, we're going to call it title, or title, and it's going to be equal to a string. And then where we put title, so where we've put our H1 here, we're going to delete this, and we're going to put two sets of curly braces into each other. So this stands for, this is how handlebars work, similar to how like pug templating works with the hashtag and curly braces. This is where you put your props or your variables, and then here we'll go write title. So that now is going to print our title when we pass it through. And then we're also going to do one more thing. We're going to come down here and go style. And we're going to set it to, so we've got loads of different ways. You can use Sass for Sass, stylus, everything. We would normally use Sass, but for this tutorial, I'm not going to install Sass. You have to install it as a dependency. We're just going to use styled.sass, and we're going to go scopes. So what scope means is anything we put in here only relates to what is in this template. If we remove scope, this stuff in here could leak into any components we put in here, and I believe it can leak out of this too to other components around, but scoped keeps it relative to this. So if we type in header, and we're going to say width 100%, height we're going to say 60 pixels, and we're going to say, well, so we've got the width and the height. We'll say the background is going to be equal to 171717. And that's good for now. Now let's go, we actually want padding too, so we're going to add some padding of, let's say, 15 pixels all around. Do we need a height? I don't think so. I think we'll work fine with that one. And then in here, we're also going to add the dot logo. And in the, what, hello, oh, this isn't Sass, sorry. Started using Sass, and as I said, we're not going to be using Sass. And then in the logo, we're going to say, so we're going to say flex 1, because I forgot to add in here, display flex, justify content center, align items center, and actually, yeah, we are going to have a height. We're going to remove the padding. We're going to say height 60 pixels, and we're going to get rid of the padding because we don't need it. I think that's it, and then that's going to be flex 1. The title is going to be equal to flex 3, so we're going to have this 3 times or 2 times bigger or 3 times bigger than the logo. And then we're also going to do dot filler, and this is just going to be flex 1 for now. And in the title, we're also going to set the, or we're going to say dot title h1, and we're going to say color is equal to f3, f3, f3. So we've got that white. The font size is going to be equal to 28 pixels, and the line height is equal to 1, or 60, because we want it the same height as the header component. And lastly, in here, we're going to say, what was it actually? So we got that, we need the H1, and we wanted to, oh yeah, I want to do font weight of 300, because I like thin font weight, especially for titles. I don't know why, I just think it makes kind of sense, maybe. And logo, we're also going to do in here, dot logo image, and we're going to say width, or we're going to say height is equal to 50 pixels. And I think that's good, so that should be good. If we go back to the app, we actually want to remove this margin top, we want to remove this text align center, I guess I can stay, actually, it'd be maybe useful, and the color, we don't actually need that. But now we can't really do anything here. We need to actually import our header. So in here, if we go import using ES6 syntax, and we type in header from, and now we go /components, /header. I don't think we need .view, so we're going to leave that out. And then in components, we're going to add header. So that means now in here, we can actually type in header, and we're actually going to pass through the title prop as we said, and this is going to be VueJS. So now if we come over here, we got failed to comply. Can't resolve, it can't find the logo in components. Oh, my bad. So that is here. It is in assets, right? So assets logo.png. Does it need to be that? Because it's not actually in there. Oh, yes, it does. Oh, and look at that. We've actually can't find module. There we go. But we need to get rid of that padding on the outside of that. So if we go back to here, or the main one, and we go in here and we type in body, we want to say margin 0. And we're going to set the background color to our usual, just so it's not too hard on the eyes. And that is that, and we're actually going to go in the header, and I don't like the size of the logo, so we're going to set that down to 30. Quite small, but I like it. We're going to keep that. So that's our header, our little VueJS. It's centered nicely, little logo in the corner. By the way, I didn't really explain what we're doing this. We're just actually testing it, we're learning it. So this is kind of what happened. I'm kind of showing you how to do it. So this is our first component we've created in VueJS, which is pretty awesome if I do say so myself. So we've got the export default name app. So this is the app. This is the main one, by the way. If you didn't know, you need to use this. This is the main one. And then in main.js, this is how it actually works. So it imports Vue from Vue and imports app from app.vue. This is if it's production, which is false at this moment. I believe that's what that means, production tip. And then it sets up a new Vue. So new Vue is equal to render, which is a method in Vue. And then we pass in h, which I'm guessing is a parameter, into h app, which actually relates to this here, app here. So this is actually what it renders to. And then, oh no, sorry, and then the mount app, so app is the actual app there. So we're passing through the app.vue, so this. And then mount to app means it actually appends it to in here, inside this little thing with app in there. So again, this is our header. Again, that's all cool, nice and easy, and app.vue. Okay guys, so now we've created our header, we're actually going to create a new one. We're going to call it profile, because we want to create we're going to create one more what you call this, component, that's it. And then here we're going to type in profile. Next up, let's create the component. We're going to say new, not new folder, new, thank you, new, stupid machine, profile.vue. And in profile.vue, we're going to create a template, HTML. We're going to have a section with the ID of profile. In here, we're going to just put an image in here. And / and in here we'll actually, so we'll sort that in a minute. We'll go script, JavaScript, and we're going to pass this over here, and we're going to say name is equal to profile, and the props we're going to have a user prop, which is going to be an object. So we're going to pass through a whole object through into here, and we're going to go to style. And we've got our keywords scoped. And in here, we're going to say profile display. And we're going to do flex as usual. And then we're going to say profile, hashtag profile dot, oh no, just image. And we're going to say width 50% of the page. And the height will follow. And I think that's it there. We're going to add some padding of like 15 pixels around just so it's pulled away. That's it. But up here in the source, we need to do something called hello, that's not how you do it. Phi-bind source, and then we're going to set it equal to user.image. And that is how we're going to get, our image from there. And then underneath here, we're going to create a h3. and we're going to put in there user dot name. And now let's go get this word. So if we went over, we need, where are we? In app, if we now add in our component called profile, and we went and had a look over here, you'll see nothing happens because we haven't set up our object. But to pass our object, we can't just pass it through normally. We have to use something called data function, and is that correct? Data function return. Oh, sorry, I wondered why that wasn't shown. It's because I ain't got a comment out. And then we're going to do return, and then we're going to put user, which could be an object. It's going to have the a name, which is going to be Tyler Potts, or no, sorry, Peter Parker, and the image. So to do the image, you can't do a source properly. You have to use require, and it's /asset/spiderman.jpg, which is in our file. We need to put a comma there. Now it's that. So now up in the profile, we now can go, because we've bind this data to our VueJS thing. We'll go user is equal to user. Oh, sorry, my bad. No, we need to actually, now here we're going to also use phi-bind. Oh, actually we don't. So a shorthand of phi-bind is using a semicolon to do that, and we can actually do that in here too, I believe. So now we've got that set up. If we go over here, as you can see, it says Peter Parker, but we need to quickly go in here and we need to go flex direction column. And there we go. Oh, hello. And justify content center. Oh, and the line. I am center. My bad. There we go. So there's our little profile bit here. We've got our user picture, which is Black Spider-Man. It's me in a mask, don't tell anyone. And then we've got Peter Parker over here, who's obviously snazzy and does all his stuff. So that is how you use phi-bind. So bind, you could either just do that, or you could do phi-bind, which both work the same. If we refresh, I don't know why I keep refreshing. It's hot reloading, but just to show you, I definitely refreshed. That is that. So that is the basics, the very basics of VueJS. So I hope you've learned something new here today. This is going to be it for the video. I know it's quite a small one, and we only did 2 small things, and this is all we created. But although this is all we created, now you can go out there and apply what you've learned for using different functions, like using data. We could actually pass in proper data here, so we could we get fetch to populate this. We could get it from an API, like I showed you with the JSON or anything. You can get some posts. You could do profiles. You could do your own SEP. You could do your own styles. You could try it with Sass if you want to figure out how you install Sass. A hint is if you go over to dependencies and you hit install, you could, and then you click development, you can go Sass and Node Sass and Sass Loader are the 2 main ones you need, and I believe there is one other, but I'll let you figure that out. I think those 2 will work, but don't hold me to it. And this is what we created today. This is going to be up on GitHub. I hope you enjoyed this video. I really did enjoy making it. So yeah, so thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Like and subscribe if you want to see more, and drop some feedback in the comments if there's anything you want to learn. Next up, I think we're going to do some more VueJS again. We're going to go a bit more advanced. We're going to get data from an API, such as a weather app. We're going to go get from the data from a weather API, and we're going to create a little weather app, I think, next time. But for now, thank you for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video. Peace out.